You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI AM 640 is Later with Mo Kelly. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and the iHeartRadio app. Let's talk about Billboard magazine. Billboard, I've had friends who worked over there for the better part of 30 years. In fact, one person, Gail Mitchell, friend of mine, was a part of a group of Billboard writers and editorialists who put together this list of the 75 best R&B artists of all time. If there's anything that I know, it's R&B in terms of music genre. I could have sat on this editorial board and done a better job on this list, and I have no problem saying it. In fact, Gail Mitchell, I'm going to give you a call probably at some point and see if I can get you on the show and have you explain yourself. Top 75 R&B artists of all time, according to the staff picks at Billboard magazine. And I'm going to run through these real quickly. Number 75, Ruth Brown. That's fine. She predates Ray Charles and Aretha Franklin. Number 74, Summer Walker. That's fine. You know, when we get to the top 50, we'll really know. Etta James at 73. At Last. Yeah, Sunday Kind of Love. All right, we'll see. We'll use that as a benchmark. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Is this person really better than Etta James? Because it says best R&B artist. It didn't say best singer. So I'm looking at the totality of your career. Number 72, Jackie Wilson.
Absolutely should be on the list. Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yes. Number 71, Keisha Cole. Okay.
This is where we start. We're off to
rocky start.
Okay.
I worked with Keisha Cole when I was at Interscope Records. Okay. Not a bad artist. Just not top 70 anything of all time anywhere.
No.
Okay.
Very good singer.
Yeah.
But not better than even Etta James. What are we doing right now?
Number 70, Her. I'll hear this out.
I'll hear it.
Yes.
Her is a phenomenal vocalist. And
even a musician. I mean, she's playing guitar and everything. So I'll listen to it.
Yes. On the top 75. Okay.
Yeah. Number 69, Bobby Womack. Sure. He's on the list. He's on the list. And if you don't know some of these names, you may not be in the weeds as much as someone like me when it comes to R&B music. But it also sometimes says, like, wait a minute, I've heard of Etta James. How is this person above Etta James? Like, for example, and you would not be wrong in many instances. Phyllis Hyman. Yeah, her career was cut short because she unfortunately took her own life. But as a vocalist, jazz and R&B,
stellar.
Yeah.
One of the premier. Yes.
Oh, and Janine Coveney also was on this. So we got two people we know. Okay.
All right.
Number 67, Tank. F-O-H. There's no way Tank is the top 75 of anything. And you probably say, who's Tank? Exactly. That's my point. Number 66, Keith Sweat. He had about 2 albums. He's not top 75.
Etta?
Thank you.
Look, Keith Sweat is a great artist, phenomenal songwriter. We're talking about, and again, I guess we needed some type of breakdown for what it is that they're looking for. Are you talking about people who are touring, people that you like? But if you're talking about voices, best singers is what I think you're looking for when you look for the top R&B anything.
Well,
Keith Sweat does not have.
He's not even a good singer. He did not write his music. I like his music, but as far as he wasn't a great performer, nothing. They made fun of his dancing.
Yeah, he's like a Backstreet Boy by himself.
Right.
You know?
Number 65, Tina Marie.
Should not be as low on this list as she is.
Yeah, she should actually be higher.
Yeah.
Much higher. 64, Lettucey. I think of her more as a jazz artist than an R&B artist.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
Yeah.
Great vocalist.
Phenomenal vocalist. Yeah. If she should be on a list if we're talking about singers, yes, because her voice is phenomenal. Yes.
Number 63, Music Soul Child. I'm personally fond of Music Soul Child.
Yeah.
And he writes his music. I'll allow it for now. Number 62, Anthony Hamilton. Yes. He's on the list.
Yep.
Number 61, Ashanti.
We have to stop this whole list right now. Stop this list and put this list where it belongs, and that's in the garbage.
Ashanti, and I say this as someone who's been on this show, respectfully.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she came out talking about a Christmas movie. She's a fine performer.
She's a studio singer. She is not holding her own vocally against like a Phyllis Hyman. She's not.
No, she's got maybe 3 or 4 hits. Number 60, Neo. Hell no. Hell no.
No way.
Hell no. Number 59, Fantasia. I think she's a great singer. She's not top 75 anything. I don't think she's had more than 2 hits. I'm being serious.
That's even being
Yeah. 59, Fantasia. 58, Peebo Bryson. Yes.
Yes. Yep.
57, Tevin Campbell. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Can We Talk? That's an all-time classic song.
But his voice, beyond that, his voice as a singer,
Yes.
R&B singer, his voice is legendary. His voice is phenomenal.
Discovered by Quincy Jones.
Yes.
Number 56, I know who this is. Most people don't. Joe, great songwriter, decent singer, but he doesn't have a catalog to be in the top 75 R&B
I can hear
artists.
the argument, but
he's been out for like 30 years
That's
doing
true.
it, and his voice has never fallen. Joe has a phenomenal voice. He's just so unsung because he goes by Joe.
Right.
You know?
I could hear it, but he should be a little bit lower.
No, way lower, closer in the 70s.
Yeah.
Number 55, Natalie Cole. I'll allow it.
Okay.
Number 54, Jasmine Sullivan. Hells no. Hells no.
Hells
No
Daniel doesn't like it
disrespect.
either.
I mean, she got 1 hit. I bust the windows out your car. That's it. Number 53, Jill Scott. Yes, and could be higher by the end of her career.
Should be higher. Daniel says that too.
Yeah. Number 52, Stephanie Mills. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. She might even be top 50, but still.
She should be. Yeah.
Number 51, Rick James. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Higher.
Yeah, right. Number 50, John Legend. He's on the list.
He's
somewhere.
on the list.
I'll hear it.
Yeah,
We'll see who else is on here for
Right.
him to be 50.
right. Bobby Brown, 49. I never thought he was the king of R&B, but as far as influence and impact,
Influence and impact.
If you
but
throw
he's
in-
not the great. He's not.
No.
He's not the most stellar singer. He wasn't the most stellar singer in the group.
No.
I know, but
I love Bobby. Love Bobby Brown, king of R&B.
the influence
This
is
is not
strong.
a diss.
no, and we're talking about people that we've dealt with.
Yeah.
But
Personally,
look, a lot of these newer artists, I am partially responsible for the records being heard and played in the first place.
Number 48, Lauryn Hill. I don't like her as a person and how she does her concerts and not showing up, but
I've heard that.
Number 47, The Weeknd. I'll say yes, if only because once you do a Super Bowl halftime show by yourself, you're in the
It gives
conversation.
you clout.
But he has a great voice.
Yeah.
He's a great singer. Yeah.
Number 46, Rihanna.
Singer?
Well, this is an artist. So if you want to throw in the totality
Yeah,
of her career, okay. 45, D'Angelo. Yes.
Yes.
Number 44, SZA. No. Get back to me in 10 years. I mean, she's not
Too new.
Yeah, not more impactful as an R&B artist than Etta James, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or Stephanie Mills. She's
Right.
above Stephanie Mills. And I think SZA would say, don't put me above Stephanie. Don't do that.
We got to go to a commercial break, and then we'll come back with the top 43, and we're going to really piss you off. In the chat, the Motown chat, they're throwing out names of who they think should be in the top 10. Who is it who said that Chris Brown better be in the top 10? You better
Some
stop.
fool.
You better
Some-
stop.
some
Stop.
actual fool said
Stop.
that.
Aaron Eaton says Donny Hathaway. I'm with you, Aaron Eaton, on Donny Hathaway. Eric Lasardo says Rick James should be above John Legend, and Bobby Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Aaron
Agreed.
Eaton is looking for Curtis Mayfield. Well, yep, you're not wrong.
He's got to be way up top.
Lisa's looking for Marvin Gaye and Barry White. We haven't gotten to the top 40 or so I expect to see them there.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI AM 640 is Later with Mo Kelly. We're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app. We're going through the top 75 R&B artists of all time according to Billboard, but we're short on time. So we're going to jump up to number 25 and get to the good part. Coming in at number 25, according to Billboard magazine, of the best R&B artists of all time, Patti LaBelle. I think she should be higher, but I'll hold out and see who is ranked above her. Number 24, Bill Withers. I would say yes. If you know the depth of his music catalog as a writer, he stopped singing relatively early in his career, walked away, but his music catalog is up there. Number 23, Teddy Pendergrass. His music career was cut short because of a car accident but I'll allow it. And I admit I'm partial to Teddy Pendergrass.
Yeah.
Number 22. This guy should have been top 10. Luther Vandross.
Yeah, 22.
And
Top
Yeah.
5.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, once you see who's in the top 5, you'll see like, okay, well, maybe not top 5.
Okay.
But Luther, someone I did work with. So, yes, I'm partial.
I've heard him sing live doing jingles. This man's voice is flawless.
It's one, with the exception of maybe Donny Hathaway, the most perfect voice I've ever heard. Number 21, Donny Hathaway.
They put them next to each other for
Right, for a reason. And if you don't know who Donny Hathaway is this Christmas, hang all the mistletoe. That's Donny Hathaway. Number 20, Otis Redding. I don't think he should be ranked this high.
I don't think it should be above. Yeah, no.
I mean,
Well-
is he influential? Yeah.
But not above Luther.
No, and I don't think he's top 20. I don't think so. You know, he had a few songs, but not top 20 as far as career impact. Number 19, Smokey Robinson. He may drop by the end of these lawsuits. Sorry, that was messed up. Number 18, Al Green.
Right now, yep.
Yeah, he's top 20.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Number 17, I'm surprised that she's this low. Janet Jackson. It's kind of hard to be world famous and you have hits over 3 different decades and you're not even in the top 15. I think Janet would have been higher.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Again, I'm partial. I did work with her. Virgin Records. No, see, this is what I mean. How could you have Mary J. Blige at 16 and Janet Jackson at 17? Don't tell me that Mary J. Blige's career was half as impactful as Janet Jackson.
Not even close.
And for folks who know me, they'll know what I mean by this. Mary J. Blige is black famous. You know, if you're an R&B fan, you know who Mary J. Blige is. Janet Jackson is world famous.
You worked with both, actually.
That's true. Yeah, I did work with Mary J. You forget after a while. Yeah, that's true. I forget. Number 15, Isaac Hayes. Yes.
Yeah.
Academy Award. Yeah.
Yep.
Number 14, people are asking about this person. Curtis Mayfield.
Yeah, sure. Yep.
Agreed.
Yeah.
We can quibble on the ranking, but it's in the general
It's in
area.
the bright spot or area.
Number 13, Sam Cooke.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. A change is going to come. Number 12, Usher.
Hey.
Well,
Hey, man. Hey.
not that high.
Not that high?
Not that high, but you could say his career, as far as being world famous.
It's almost like the Janet Jackson of my generation.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And he could be in the top 20, but he should not be above
Luther.
Luther.
Or Curtis Mayfield.
Or Curtis
Yeah,
Mayfield.
no
or
way.
any of the people that he's
Yeah.
above. You know, he should be at the tail end of the top 20.
And for some people, they're talking about just number of hits, and hits are relative. Okay. Usher doesn't have type of discography where they'll be playing his music 100 years from now. Curtis Mayfield, yes. Coming in at number 11. This might be a little low. For me, of course, I'm partial. Ray Charles.
I love Ray Charles.
Yeah. I think he's top 10 no
That
matter
should be
what.
top 10.
Yeah. We'll see who's in the top 10 real
Okay.
quick. Number 10, Marvin Gaye. Now, see, I would pick Ray Charles over Marvin Gaye.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's got to be relative. Oh, number 9.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my God. R. freaking Kelly.
Hey, man.
Come on.
Hey,
Come
man.
on. Look.
Hey, man. hey, man.
No.
You don't even know.
We're not even discussing
No.
that. No.
Hell no.
No. Number 8, Mariah Carey.
No.
Yes. Mariah Carey, yes.
Yeah,
She's
that,
top 10.
yeah, that
She's
was
top 10.
was for R.
Yeah.
Kelly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Number 7, Prince. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
As artist? Oh, yeah.
That was a little too
Oh, yeah.
yay for
Yeah.
me, Foosh. I'm telling you, Prince. Yeah.
Well, that's not as high. But he's in
Top
the right
20
area.
for you?
Top 20.
Okay.
Okay.
Number 6, James Brown. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Number 5, Whitney Houston.
Okay.
Definitely.
All right. Yeah.
Can't argue that one.
Yeah, can't argue that. Number 4, Beyonce.
Above Whitney?
Not above Whitney. But, you know, if you put in the totality of her career, she's got 450 Grammys and her
Yeah.
tours. That's, you know.
All
I would just say
right.
influence alone.
Yeah, influence.
Yeah.
But Whitney
I
influenced
know.
everyone.
But
That's
Whitney,
right.
unfortunately, did not become a star in the age of the internet.
Yeah.
Number 3, Michael Jackson.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would have had him over number 2, Aretha Franklin. and I love me some Aretha Franklin. But I would put Michael above Aretha
But she broke
Franklin.
down some barriers. I mean,
That's the thing. Aretha, half of her career was gospel music.
Yes, we're talking R&B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since this is genre specific,
okay.
got to hurry up for Mark Rahner. And coming in number one, they got this right. The greatest R&B artist of all time, Stevie Wonder, Steve Lynn Morris.
Cannot
I can't argue that.
The
Can't.
Billboard, I'll give you this one.
They got that one
Your
right.
number one
That
is
one
right.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Now on Later with Mo Kelly, Mark talks about movies and TV, pontificates about pop culture. Rahner Report with Mark Rahner. Mark Rahner right now. Mark Rahner right now. Mark Rahner right now. Report with Mark Rahner.
KFI AM 640. It's the Rahner Report with Mark Rahner. Take it away.
Tonight, 28 years later. First off, the original movie, 28 Days Later, came out in 2002. And I know math is hard, but this is 2025, so that's 23 years later. Screw you for that, filmmakers. Oh, the movie is set 28 years later. Whatever. Here's some of the trailer.
There were so many dead. Infected and non-infected alike.
That's why our home is so precious.
You know, I feel he's a bit young.
He's ready, Jen.
7, 6, 11, 5.
Once you walk onto that mainland, there's no rescues.
Moving up and down again. Don't. Look at what's in front of you. Let's go.
And you got a lot of zombies chasing after people. The tons and tons of people watch the trailer. It's really good. It's really effective, and it uses, I believe, an old Rudyard Kipling poem. The movie set 28 years. Let's get caught up. Let's get everything straight. 28 Days Later was the first one, and it wasn't technically a zombie movie because it was about a rage virus that spread quickly among humans and made them act just like zombies. You don't have to listen to everything filmmakers tell you about their stuff. It's a zombie movie. If you remember that movie with Cillian Murphy, it was one of the first ones that depicted zombies running like bats out of hell, like Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead remake 2 years later. And now the fungus zombies in The Last of Us on HBO. Sorry, Max. These aren't the old drunk-looking George Romero zombies that shuffle around and move almost as slow as a Sleestacks from Land of the Lost. These guys run really fast. They run like they're being chased by ice agents in a strawberry field. 28 Weeks Later came out in 2007 and starred the Scottish actor Robert Carlyle, although it was focused more on his kids in that movie. Watchable, not as good as the first one. This new one, 28 Years Later, is from the same team, director Danny Boyle and Alex Garland, the writer of the first one, which is enough of a pedigree to get my ass into a theater and not wait for it to show up on TV. Danny Boyle directed Trainspotting, Slumdog Millionaire, Sunshine, lots of others. The real draw for me is Garland, who gave us Civil War last year as a director and writer, Ex Machina, Annihilation, Men, and a great miniseries called Devs. Haven't seen Warfare yet, which he also did, but that's on my list. These guys cranked out something worthwhile here. Lots of tension, filled with imagery that's beautiful and disturbing at the same time. And also not just more the same old after decades of zombie trash. And still kind of has a punk rock feel to the action. It's jarring, the cutting's frenetic. It'll wake you right up if, say, you see it after work very late at night in a nearly empty theater during the week. Here's the setup. All this time, after the rage virus and the berserk zombies, there's a community of survivors who live on an island that's only connected to the zombie-infested mainland by a causeway. And if you don't know what a causeway is, it's a little road or trail that you can use when the tide's low, and it's underwater when the tide's up. Causeways are scary. They're a great gimmick. Now let's pause for a new feature. Cause. Mark's definitive list of the all-time greatest causeway horror films. The Woman in Black, the 2012 version, and the 1989 version. If you're a fan of causeways, these are movies for you. If you've got a causeway, when it's high tide, you either can't get to someplace or you can't escape someplace. Got that? Why hasn't Blumhouse made a movie called Causeway yet? Honestly, they've done more with less. And that was Mark's definitive list of the all-time greatest Causeway horror movies. Cause. Okay, now back to what we were talking about. Aaron Taylor Johnson, who was not banished to the island because of Craven the Hunter, is the dad of a little boy, along with Jodie Comer, who's very sick with something. We'll find out later in the movie what it is. As a kind of rite of initiation, ATJ takes this boy across the causeway to the mainland, which is under strict quarantine, to hunt some zombies. This is not a recommended father-son activity. Play catch. Get that porn sharing app or shaming app that Mike Johnson and his son share. Not zombie outings, though. That's even worse than that mumbly peg game. You like that? You remember your grandparents played with knives because they didn't have toys during the Great Depression? I'm sorry, son. We couldn't afford a PS5 for your birthday, so instead, we're going to get chased around by berserk carnivorous zombies while we're armed only with bows and arrows. Sound like fun? That's not all the movie. And yes, ATJ playing a crappy father does play a role in the story. Hey, son, next I thought we'd go swimming in the ocean at an LA beach. Don't worry about all this sewage. You want to build up a strong immune system. You see Rafe Fiennes in the trailer, and he plays a very strange survivor on the mainland. And he's only really in a portion of the movie. It's not a cameo, but sort of like in 28 Weeks, the kid's really the focus. And believe it or not, that doesn't ruin the movie. We also get new alpha zombies in this, which are bigger, smarter, harder to kill, and fairly well endowed. Lots of the zombies are naked, so yes, you will be treated to some zombie dong in the film. And where the movie almost tips into...
Nice.
You like that? The movie almost...
That's got to be a first.
Tips into comedy with what this alpha male can do to people that it catches. Now, without spoiling anything, all I'm going to tell you, it's like the most hilariously brutal move from one of the Mortal Kombat video games. Now you got to see it in the theater. This is a really British movie, and you can find some echoes of Brexit and how the UK is quarantined while Europe seems to have dealt with the zombie problem. And starting with Night of the Living Dead in 1968, most of the good zombie movies were vehicles for social commentary, some better than others. Now here's some BS. A couple weeks ago, I got a Google alert referencing a review I did of 28 Weeks Later back in 2007, because now it's a hit again on streaming. It's an article from Slash Film, which reads like it was written by an AI. A lot of clickbait blather to say 28 Weeks Later is doing well on Hulu. And it quotes critics from the New York Times and Chicago Tribune wetting themselves over how great they thought 28 Weeks Later was. But then, quote, Mark Rahner of the Seattle Times wasn't in agreement, however. The writer evidently found the movie's social commentary to be as subtle as, well, a George Romero movie. Now, here's the thing. I was right. At this point, nobody regards 28 Weeks Later as anywhere close to the original. The original filmmakers had nothing to do with that middle movie. I didn't go along with the pack at the time, and what this Slash Film writer or AI meant to say was, what clear insight Mark had then when the bigger fish were acting like toddlers with a shiny object. That said, 28 Years Later is a much better movie, over and above all the zombie dong you get to see. So far, Sinners and Bring Her Back are the best horror films this year. This one belongs on that list, along with that Jim Jordan Ohio State wrestling documentary. It could be the first of a new trilogy if it does well. Sign me the hell up for this. Some trivia. This movie was shot on an iPhone, or iPhones, plural. Granted, there are iPhones with all sorts of extra gear that you and I probably couldn't afford, but still, phones, and it looks really good. I hate the way most digital movies look. I finally caught David Cronenberg's The Shrouds, and the digital photography, to me, made it feel not like a real Cronenberg movie at all. It just looked terrible. And look at all this time later. Most people can pronounce Cillian Murphy's name 28 years later. Carlisle went on to be a Bond villain. Idris Elba became a huge star. He was in the middle one. Imogen Poots from the middle one still has the best name in show business that kind of sounds like farting, but is completely unrelated. Jeremy Renner went on to nearly get disemboweled, not by zombies, but by his own snowplow. Life comes at you fast, like a snowplow. Mo?
Tim Conway Jr. is going to have half an issue with you. Just half an issue.
How so?
Because you left out the ding.
You know, I thought about that while I was writing this.
The Momigos pointed that out too.
and I thought,
just let it go, Mark.
I don't need to pick a fight with anybody I work with. Yeah, no ding dongs. Just half of it.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Later with Mo Kelly on KFI AM AM 640.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. 50 years ago today, Jaws in theaters for the first time. 50 years ago today. And if you're watching NBC, they're showing Jaws, and I was remarking with Tuala Sharp how clear it is. Whatever digital remastering and restoration they did to the original copy of Jaws is just fantastic. It looks like it was filmed in IMAX HD. It's almost like a whole new movie. Want to go back and watch it again for myself. But since this show is all about movies and entertainment, we had to pay tribute to the 50th anniversary of Jaws. And I say that against the backdrop. We are going to name that movie called Classic. No, Jaws will not be one of the movies, but you can give us a call at 800-520-1KFI, 800-520-1534 if you want to play Name That Movie Called Classic with us tonight. We're playing for fun, not for prizes, but we're definitely going to have fun. 800-520-1KFI, 800-520-1534. And let me get back to Jaws for just a moment. What made Jaws so spectacular was the fact that Steven Spielberg, the director, didn't show us much of the shark. It was more the fear of it being around, the possibility that it could pop up. And if you know anything about the history of the making of the movie, part of that had to do with the shark itself. The mechanical shark was not dependable and frequently would break down. And so Steven Spielberg, as the story goes, took it in a different direction and intentionally showed it less to make it seem more menacing and ever present. It seemed like wherever the heroes were, the protagonists were, Roy Scheider, Robert Shaw, and Richard Dreyfuss, the shark was right there. And unfortunately, only Richard Dreyfuss is left from the original cast. But in the movie, if you've seen Jaws, there is the best, and I say this without exaggeration or hyperbole, arguably the best monologue delivered in a movie. And from what I'm told, it was put together by Robert Shaw, and the cast didn't even know that he was going to do it. And he just started doing it, and it stuck. Mark, am I almost right with that?
Yes, you are.
What I'm going to do now is I'm going to play that monologue for you. And I believe it was a one-shot. It was done in one take. I don't need to set it up. This is Robert Shaw, arguably the best monologue in cinema history.
Japanese submarine slammed 2 torpedoes into our side, Chief. It was coming back from the island of Tinian to Lady. Just delivered the bomb, the Hiroshima bomb. 1,100 men went into the water. The vessel went down in 12 minutes. Didn't see the first shark for about half an hour. Tiger, 13-footer. You know that when you're in the water, Chief? You tell by looking from the dorsal to the tail. What we didn't know was our bomb mission had been so secret, no distress signal had been sent. They didn't even list us overdue for a week. Very first light, Chief. Sharks come cruising. So we formed ourselves into tight groups. It's kind of like old squares in a battle, like you see in a calendar, like the Battle of Waterloo, and the idea was shark comes to the nearest man, that man he start pounding and hollering and screaming. Sometimes the shark would go away. Sometimes he wouldn't go away. Sometimes that shark, he looks right into you, right into your eyes. You know the thing about a shark, he's got lifeless eyes, black eyes, like a doll's eyes. When he comes at you, he doesn't seem to be living until he bites you. And those black eyes roll over white, and then you hear that terrible high-pitched screaming. The ocean turns red, and in spite of all the pounding and the hollering, they all come in, they rip you to pieces. By the end of that first dawn, we lost 100 men. I don't know how how many sharks. Maybe 1,000. I don't know how many men. They average 6 an hour. On Thursday morning, Chief, I bumped into a friend of mine, Herbie Robinson from Cleveland. A baseball player. Bosun's mate. I thought he was asleep. Reached over to wake him up. Bobbed up and down in the water. It was like a kind of top. Upended. Well, he'd been bitten in half below the waist. Noon the 5th day, Mr. Hooper, Lockheed Ventura saw us. He swung in low and he saw us too. A young pilot, a lot younger than Mr. Hooper anyway. He saw us and he come in low, and 3 hours later, a big fat PBY comes down and started to pick us up. You know, that was the time I was most frightened, waiting for my turn. I'll never put on a life jacket again. So 1,100 men went in the war. 316 men come out. The Sharks took the rest June the 29th, 1945. Anyway, we delivered the bomb.
The inimitable Robert Shaw. I say it is the greatest monologue in cinema history. Jaws. Happy birthday. 50th anniversary of Jaws today. It's later with Mo Kelly, KFI AM 640, live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app.
KFI and KOST HD2, Los Angeles, Orange County. More stimulating talk.